Other issues. My ex-employer has two options. They will only acknowledge the first by saying no entitlement to sacked workers. The two options are A. Pay the current LSL entitlement, or B. Pay the LSL entitlement for the service period that was not paid out upon termination in January 2013 plus late payment penalty. My ex-employer will not pay LSL entitlement at all. They are refusing to pay. I was not able to convince a change of heart with the info supplied by the statutory authority, DEDJTR. The DEDJTR's power to investigate complaints, penalise and prosecute employers appear for the first time in the repealed LSL Act, which comes into force on the 1st of November 2018. The judicial authority. In case the passive-aggressive reference to legal fees etc. was missed earlier, I will touch on the subject again in a more direct manner. My only option is to pursue this matter in the Industrial Division of the Magistrates Court. I have to make the decision to pursue a current entitlement or the entitlement that wasn't paid upon termination. I cannot get the information that would ensure I'm heading up the correct legal avenue. I downloaded the form that needs to be submitted to commence the proceeding for the Magistrates Court website only to find it needed to be signed and submitted by a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I cannot afford legal fees. I very much doubt the LSL owed would cover the cost of legal fees to pursue this LSL entitlement matter. It is not financially viable to enforce my ex-employer to pay my LSL entitlements that are owed. That sucks. Reason for weird YouTube vid. 1. I have a lot of trouble engaging with anyone who can help with the continual stream of complex issues I'm faced with. I thought it would make it easier to listen instead of read my latest problem. 2. I have a mental trauma injury and been diagnosed with a severe mental condition, chronic PTSD. I'm a pretty smart gal who has a tendency to become fixated on a topic. I jam-pack my brain full of info. Stress and anxiety promptly shreds it into confetti and blasts it all out, showering anyone within range, giving them a fright and leaving them confused. It takes a painful long drafting and rewriting processes that may include YouTube videos to collect all the info confetti and package it up into something that resembles the huge amount of info I've ingested. Other things you should know about me. 1. When I ask a question like this and get an answer that's obviously wrong or a referral to someone who can't help me, it only encourages me to become more persistent and broaden the net of who I seek answers from. 2. Might be worth noting 99.9% is documented because I don't engage with people who want to chat on the phone. Unless prepared to be accountable for what you say, I'm not interested in hearing it. 3. When no one can provide a simple, logical, law-abiding answer to my general question, it transforms into an issue worth pursuing and increase my odds of interpreting what I've read and researched correctly. 4. The matter usually relates to a denial of my legal and human rights, so you can bet your ass I won't drop it until it gets sorted. 5. This issue pales in comparison to the plethora of issues I'm dealing with, so it's not a great example of how my inquiries are handled, but gives you an idea. I first made inquiries on a web feedback form on the 30th of June. There's a pretty long list of debts, authorities, organizations I've contacted. All the while I've been relaying info back to my ex-employer in an attempt to convince them to change their position and pay my LSL. Other things to note. 1. Ex-employer is as dodgy as they come, very dishonest, caught lying countless times. 2. Have not returned to work since injured, remain certified unfit for work duties. 3. Workcover weekly payments continue to be paid by employer. 4. Workcover claims have not finalized. 5. I have deliberately left out identifying details because my ex-employer enjoys a very close relationship with government. Biased is virtually impossible for an injured worker to prove. I'm eliminating the possibility of a biased decision. I do not wish to have it affect the interpretation of this law. Some other thoughts. I'm going to forward a copy of this reply to the parties I've been in contact with or have not got a response from, or anyone else I can think of. It would appear that a confirmation on my interpretation requires a collaborative effort. In the event injured workers' right to accrue LSL extends beyond termination, or doesn't, steps need to be taken to make this info readily available and accessible. Staff in relevant departments need to have knowledge to aptly handle inquiries on the subject as well. Final thoughts. This should be used as a lesson to all employers who staff about and delay workcover claims. Finalize the claims process and the link to the employer is broken. LSL stops accruing. I did not choose to be injured. I do not enjoy being disabled.